if you are very shy and if you don't put yourself out there, it's quite easy for you to get lonely and not have friends. And I wouldn't recommend going through your degree without having a support system around you, because hi besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new, welcome to the channel. My name is Andile Njigelane, your go-to girl for student living hacks, tips, and everything you need to thrive as a student. Welcome to my new series, The Plug Sister, your one-stop guide to making the most out of student life. Before we dive into this juicy topic, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a plug from your plug sister. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest decisions that you'll have to take as a student. Where should you live? On campus, off campus, or in a commune? I'll help you break it down and figure out what's best for you. So let's get into it. Alright, so here I have a list that is compiled of the pros and cons of living on campus, off campus, and even in a commune. Right now we'll start with living on campus, yes, and we'll start with the pros, right? Firstly, we have proximity to classes. When you live on campus, you live closer to like your classes, the library, because you basically live inside the school, right? So if you have a 8 a.m. class, chances are you wake up at 7 o'clock and prepare yourself for 1 hour and run to the class by 8 a.m. By 8 a.m. you will be done, right? Like, you don't have to wake up at 6:30 like some of us who used to stay on off campus. But yeah, these are one of the pros. And also, one thing I like about living on campus is that you can go to a library anytime. You can even go for the 24-hour library and just study there. And then 2, we have the community atmosphere that is there on campus. Like, they have things like res culture where they sing and have they have competitions. I've never attended one, but I've seen them and I've heard them sing those songs because I used to stay like closer to school, right? Is they would sing and then they would compete with other races. For example, UJ, students at the main campus would compete with other students from other campuses like APP, DFC, or the Soweto campus, and it is quite interesting. Some people, they like it, some they don't, but I would consider it as a pro because you get to make friends and you get to, get a sense of belonging, and yeah, it's like a community of your own. So yeah, that's one of the pros. Up next, we have safety. When you live on campus, you have 24-hour safety, and also the security, right? That is there 24 hours, and also there's limited access. Like, everyone who enters the campus as people who have student cards, or they have access cards, yes, because if it's not students, it's employees. So if you are not an employee, then you have to get in with your ID or something. It's difficult for thieves to get inside campus. So that's one of the pros. And then up next, we have convenience. The Wi-Fi is always maintained. There's water. Well, yeah, water is guaranteed, and even though there might be problems with water, sorry for the noise outside, as I was saying, is you might have water problems, but it's not a thing. Yeah, they always make sure that you always have water, and load shedding is not a thing, baby. Like, when you're on campus, load shedding is not a thing because they have 24-hour electricity. If there's load shedding, they have generators. So yeah, I think that's one of the best things that you can take for yourself by living on campus. Alright, so now we'll get into the cons of living on campus. 1, you have limited freedom. Like, they have rules and they have curfews. So if you like going out a lot, or you like going out at night, that can be a problem because they do have rules and curfews depending on the institution that you go to. I don't know their rules, but they do have rules and curfews, so please consider that when you think of living off campus. Another con is that the space constraints, like their rooms are small. their rooms are small. For me personally, their rooms are small, especially for first years. You don't get to live in a single room. Mostly you get to live in a sharing room. Well, for UJ, because I don't go to other universities, but I do know that for UJ, all first years they live in a sharing room, and the space it's quite small, but it's doable. Like you can live there, just that it's small. Yes. Another thing is that on campus, accommodations, they are on high demand. Like everyone is applying for that, and the space is quite limited. Also, they don't just take anyone. It's very hard to get in there. Like for me, I got my APS was like, what was my APS? I think my APS was you guys, okay, let's leave that. But yeah, even if with a good APS, it's quite hard to live there. So please consider that. And also they take a lot of NSFAS students and buzzer students. So yeah, man, the spaces they fill up quickly. So the minute that you apply for a course, please also apply for accommodation on campus, just in case, even though you're not gonna live there. But please apply in case you struggle with getting an accommodation off campus. At least you will have an accommodation on campus. That's if they take you, because they have a high demand. So yeah, that's one of the cons, is that they fill up quickly. So sometimes you might not get space. Sometimes if you are lucky, you might get space. Moving on, we are going to go to living off campus, which is my favorite. Okay, so we have living off campus. With living off campus, we'll start with the pros. And the first one is that you have a variety of options. You can choose to live in a flat, you can choose to live in an apartment, or even student accommodations that are off campus, or even a house at home. Actually, you can live at home if you feel like staying at home. This will all depend on your budget and what you want. But yeah, this is my favorite thing about living off campus. And also there is more freedom. You get to come out and go out at any time. There's no one who's going to ask you to where you from, why did you come back this time. You just do your thing, but just be careful and be safe. Don't go out there and galavant and forget your studies. Remember, your number one priority is that you get your studies right before anything else. But yeah, we have more freedom. There's also rest culture off campus. It depends on the student accommodation or place that you're living at, because some places, like if you live in an apartment, obviously there's not going to be things like rest cultures. But if you live in a student accommodation that is off campus, there will be rest culture, where they host like year-end parties, or parties for a break before exams, or get to meet, like anything, all those parties. And also there's privacy. Like if you live in an apartment or a bachelor, obviously you have more space for yourself, and yeah, there's more privacy. Like there's no rules that will be invading your privacy. But it depends which way you'll be staying. Obviously at off campus student accommodations, there's rules as well. There are things that you're allowed to do and things that you're not allowed to do. Like for example, sleepovers. They set the number of sleepovers that you have per month. Some student accommodations, they have like one. Some they give you 4 sleepovers per month. Some they give you unlimited. It just depends. It depends on where you stay. Yes. Another pro is that you can choose from a diverse locations. Like you can choose to live closer to school, or to live a bit further from school. But I wouldn't recommend, because it does strain you a bit, because now you have to wake up early in the morning. And in winter it's even worse, because it's dark. Now you have to wake up at 5:30 only to attend a 7 o'clock class. You see, it's not nice. But yeah, you do have that option to choose for yourself. And yeah, okay, now we'll move on to the cons of living off campus. My number one is transportation costs. Some accommodations, they do not offer transport for you, so you either have to Uber yourself or have a car. so that you can take yourself to school or even walk, believing Uguti or hoping that your student accommodation is not further away from school, it's closer to school, then you'll be able to walk, right? But then if you live, like, let's say you're in UJ and your main campus is in APK, where now you stay in Bram and they don't have a transport, you see it's gonna strain you, because you're gonna have to take a taxi or take an Uber or have your own car. So please consider that when you choose a student accommodation that is off campus. Check if they have a transport, so that you know whether to save on transportation costs or they're gonna provide a bus for you guys. Another con about living off campus is the safety. Yes. Depending on where your student accommodation will be located, yeah, there's a lot of safety concern, because if you decide to move in Jersey, then the safety, it's very teka-tekeng, yabo, because you live I don't know, in a high paced and a very dangerous and a very fast, location. So please consider that, the security, because it's, yeah. Speaking on safety concerns, please also always make sure that when you leave your rest, please make sure that you're not on your phone, or you don't place your phone in a place where everyone can see it, or in a vulnerable place where someone can just snatch it, or sponsor it and steal it. Please protect your belongings and try not to walk alone at night, because you cannot just stay in Josie and decide to take a walk at 3 a.m. They will snatch you. They will snatch that phone, compared to in APK. In APK, depends on at 3 a.m. you can go to the next student accommodation. It's not safe, but it's a little bit safer. So yes, consider such things. Another con about living off campus is the added responsibilities. Some student accommodations, they give you a limited amount of units, electricity units. If you finish those units, you will buy your own electricity. So think about that, whether you do have money to top up when if you would run out of electricity. Another con of living off campus is the isolation. It gets lonely, like it really does get lonely. If you are very shy and if you don't put yourself out there, it's quite easy for you to get lonely and not have friends. And I wouldn't recommend going through your degree without having a support system around you, because it really, really does get a lot. And sometimes you just need people to talk to, you just need people to laugh with, like you just need someone to come to your room and ask you, how was your day, yabo? So if you consider living off campus, please think about that. Or you can just put yourself out there, like even if it's just knocking a next door and asking for a salt or an onion just to make a friendship. Please do that. Do not isolate yourself, because your mental health is at risk when you do that. And yeah, please try your best to make friends, and yes, do not be lonely. Yes. or even try a new hobby. If you feel like you struggle to make new friends, you can just use your camera to even start your own channel, so that you have a channel. I don't know, you have something to keep you busy, or go to the gym and work out. And I know, go to the gym, you will meet new people and you have friends by that. Put yourself out there. Do not lock yourself in your room and think you are going to do this on your own. It's very hard and it's very tough. So put yourself out there, and yeah. All right, and then lastly, we have living in a commune. Well, living in a commune, I've never lived in a commune, but I have friends who have lived in a commune, and these are the pros of living in a commune. When you live in a commune, the costs are quite affordable. Like the rent amount, it's not as bad as living off campus or on campus. They are usually cheaper, and some they are NSS rated, some they are for cash paying students, some, yeah, they're not really bad, because mostly people who live on campus, it's usually people who just want their freedom. Like, there's a lot of freedom. If you think living off campus accommodation there's freedom, please go to communes. Those ones, they have like tons and tons of freedom on their hands. Sometimes it can turn into a con for some people. I'll get to that, but for now, that's that. It's affordable and there's more freedom. Yes, I think chances of being lonely in a commune, they're very slim, hey. Unless you don't like people, then you can just stuck to yourself. But mostly people who live in a commune, they end up becoming like a family, because they host parties and yeah, they share a lot of things. Like, they share the living room together, because mostly communes, it's like a house. They'll have the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, and then it's like 20 rooms, and everyone is shared. They're not sharing, everyone has their own room, unless it's sharing, but most of the times it's single rooms, and the rooms are quite big, like they're very spacious. So yes, that's also a pro. They have big spacious rooms. Okay, and also the flexibility of communes. Most communes, they are closer to school, and some they even offer month to month leases. Some they offer like, it's easy to move in and it's easy to move out of a commune. Sometimes some landlords, they don't play like that, they make it hard for you. But yeah, it's really not bad. Yeah, just that for me, I couldn't live in a commune for the past few years, because I wanted to experience rest culture. I wanted to live with a lot of people. So cons for living in a commune is the lack of privacy. Like, in a commune, you share your living spaces, you share a kitchen with the whole house. So hey, yeah, hey, the privacy there is very limited. Some people are quite noisy, some people, they're very unclean, and it's not nice living with unclean people, especially if we are sharing like common rooms. You cannot leave the kitchen stoves dirty and expect me to come and clean after you, yabo. So please think about such things. And yeah, those people, they like hosting parties, hey, like, they like hosting parties. So think about that. And even the security, it's not the same as off campus or on campus, because with communes, you will have a manager who lives like a mover, or sometimes they don't even, but mostly they have to have at least one person to take care of you guys. Or they do not have a security guard at the gate and all those things. So yeah, I think that's that for now with living communes. So what's the verdict, besties? Honestly, the choice comes down to your priorities, hey? If you're all about convenience and safety, on campus might be the best move for you. And if you are all about um interdependence and taking on extra responsibilities, then off campus might be the best move for you. And then if you're looking for a budget friendly and a place that has a social vibe, then communes, it's where it's at. Let me know in the comments where you are thinking of staying, or what your experience has been like. And remember, wherever you decide to live, you always got me, your plug sister, to get you through it all. Don't forget to like this video, share with your fellow besties, and don't forget to subscribe for more student living hacks. And until next time, stay plugged in. Bye, besties.